Alright, I'm back to talk about reducing and simplifying fractions. Now, reducing and simplifying fractions is not that difficult, but I want to make sure we understand it because you're going to do several days of practice with this. Reducing and simplifying fractions, most importantly, we need to remember that when we're reducing or simplifying a fraction, we're not making a smaller fraction. We're creating an equivalent fraction that's showing the exact same amount, but what you're doing is the numerator and the denominator are going to be smaller than your original fraction. The fractional part is going to be the same. It's just that the pieces are going to be larger, okay? Because the smaller the denominator, the larger the pieces. It's just like if you took a pizza, two pizzas the exact same size. You cut one in half, you cut one into eighths. Well, if you eat half of the pizza, you've eaten 4/8 of the pizza, of the other pizza. 4 is more than 1, but it's the same amount. It's just the pieces are bigger. Okay, so let's get back to this. So to reduce or simplify a fraction, you use some of the factoring rules we've worked on. What you want to do is you want to find a common factor. That is a factor that they both have. Now, just looking at 16 and 30, my hope is you go, oh, they're both even numbers, woohoo! And that's exactly right. They are both even numbers. So you should automatically know, if they're both even numbers, that what number goes into both of them. I really hope that you guys just shouted out 2. I hope. But yes, if they're both even numbers, they're both divisible by 2. So we're going to start with that. We're just going to divide. Once you find a common denominator, excuse me, not a common denominator, scratch that, a common factor, you divide the numerator and the denominator by that common factor. So notice that I'm dividing 16 divided by 2 and 30 divided by 2. Well, 16 divided by 2 equals 8, and 30 divided by 2 equals 15. So then you think to yourself, okay, do 8 and 15 have any common factors? Well, they're not even, so 2 doesn't go into them. 3 doesn't go into 8, 5 doesn't go, and that's it. So they don't have any other besides 1. 1 goes into every whole number. Okay? So 1 goes into 8, 1 goes into 15. And I'd like to teach you this little chant. And I've said this to you before. If the only common factor is 1, you, my friend, are done, done, done. I'll say it again. If the only common factor is 1, you, my friend, are done, done, done. Now you say it. I didn't hear anybody. Let's say it again. If the only common factor is 1, you, my friend, are done, done, done. Now everybody say it. Excellent. So, if the only common factor is 1, you are done. So that in between 8 and 15, the only common factor is 1. So we're done. So that is the simplest form. So 8/15 is 16/30 in its simplest form, or lowest terms. Simplest form or lowest terms. They mean the same thing. So let's do another example. Let's try 18/36. Okay, well they're both even, so I immediately know that they're divisible by 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Divided by 2, divided by 2. Well, 18 divided by 2 is easy, it's 9. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Okay, oh, then I look at 9/18, and I think, oh, well, 3 goes into both of those. So I divide by 3. Right. 18 divided by 2 equals 9. 36 divided by 2 equals 18. And then I see they both 3 goes in it. So then we have 3. And 18 divided by 3 equals 6. Okay? Then I say, wait a second. 3 goes into both of those numbers. So I divide by 3. And we get 1/2. Now, between 1 and 2, the only common factor is 1, so you, my friend, are done, done, done. Now you may say, but Mr. Champion, I knew that 9 went into 18 and 36, and that's great. If you know that it's you try to find the biggest factor you can that they have in common. So in this case, yeah, you could have started with 9, you could have started with 6. But I would have started with 2 because that's the first one that popped into my head. Now, down the road, we'll talk about something called the greatest common factor. But for right now, the key to remembering how to reduce or simplify a fraction, find a common factor, Divide the numerator and denominator by that common factor. Then look at your new fraction. If there's another common factor other than 1, you keep going until the only common factor is 1. I repeat, until the only common factor is 1. So you keep thinking of common factors and keep dividing by that common factor until the only common factor is 1. Now, the substitute in just a minute is going to do some examples with you to reinforce these ideas. So good luck, take care, and have a great time.